Tonight on NewsVision, history for Miami men's basketball. The Hurricanes are headed to their first Final Four in program history and are just 2 wins away from a national championship.
Just a great culture to be a part of and great organization to be a part of.
Plus, the FDA has approved one drug with the potential to save lives to be sold over the counter. We'll tell you what impact this will have across America.
And you have reason to suspect that it's related to an overdose, you can save a life with Narcan.
And later on, we will take you to one exhibit that celebrates women and Women's History Month.
In this day and age, that takes a lot of courage, and these women have proven that.
Breaking news right now. A lawyer for Donald Trump says that he has been told that the former president has been indicted by the grand jury. Charges against Trump include payments during the 2016 presidential campaign to silence claims of an extramarital sexual affair with adult star Stormy Daniels. It's the first ever criminal case against a former U.S. president and a jolt to Trump's bid to retake the White House in 2024. Trump has insisted that he, quote, did nothing, absolutely nothing wrong. He and his lawyers have said the charges are politically motivated and have suggested that he is a victim of extortion. And with that, good evening and welcome to tonight's episode of NewsVision. I'm Cal Friedman.
And I'm Melanie Lowe. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Miami men's basketball went back to the Elite Eight round of the NCAA tournament this season, and now the team is going to its first ever Final Four in school history.
The team left for Houston, Texas Wednesday afternoon to play the Connecticut Huskies on Saturday night.
Sports anchor Wyatt Kopelman is live in studio with more. Wyatt, how far can this Hurricanes team go?
Guys, Miami has not only matched its preseason expectations of making another deep run in this year's NCAA tournament, but has brought together a community by playing its best basketball under longtime head coach Jim Larinaga.
They got him on a dunk.
For the Miami Hurricanes and Jim Larinaga, making the NCAA tournament this season was an expectation. Last March, the Canes made it to the Elite Eight for the first time in school history. But on Sunday, the men made history again. Miami raced a 13-point second-half deficit to pull off another upset win. The Canes stormed back and guard Nigel Pack told the number 2 seed Texas Longhorns it was time to stop dancing and pack their suitcases.
It was a feeling, it was unreal. I mean, to come back from that deficit, especially, some people were starting to doubt, could we come back, and, how hard we fought to get back in this game and to come back and actually win this game, especially on a stage like this, was, something that was an amazing feeling that I can't even put into words.
This year, Miami's not been a stranger to second-half comebacks. It has went to the half down by double digits 10 times. Last year, Miami went to the half down 6 points in its Elite Eight matchup versus number 1 seeded Kansas. And this year, Coach L reminded his team of last year's game.
I told the guys at halftime, hey, this is very much like the Kansas game. We're behind. They came out and took control of the game, and that's what we need to do. And even though it took us a little longer to do it, if you watch the last 10 minutes of the game, our defense, our rebounding, our scoring, is just at such a high level.
With time running out again on their season, the Hurricanes needed a guiding voice. And first-year forward Norchad Omier used a timeout with 14 minutes left to hold the team accountable, just like his teammates did for him all season long.
We have a circle. There's these stools that the players sit on, and there's one stool for me. When I was finished meeting with my coaches, I turned, and there were the 5 guys that were in the game, and Norshad sitting in my chair telling them what to do.
And that kind of shared leadership has spread across a team that is 2 wins away from its first ever national championship.
It's just a great culture to be a part of and great organization to be a part of. We all show appreciation, we all love each other, and we all just here sticking to each other.
Miami is one of 3 programs in this year's Final Four which had never made it before. But the path to cutting down the nets doesn't get any easier. The Canes will play 4-time national champion and current favorites Connecticut on Saturday night. Well, I'll be back in a little bit for more sports news, but for now, reporting live for UMTV, I'm Wyatt Kopelman.
Thank you, Wyatt. Tragedy struck in Tennessee earlier this week after a shooting left 6 people dead at a private Christian school in Nashville. The city came together to grieve this week. Those who knew the victims are remembering them as shining lights in the community, and First Lady Joe Biden attended a candlelit vigil in Nashville last night. A candlelight vigil was held in Nashville for the 3 children and 3 adults who were gunned down on Monday.
Our hearts are heavy as we join all of Nashville in mourning the deaths of Evelyn Dykus, Holly Scruggs, William Kinney, Cynthia Peak, Mike Hill, and Catherine Kuntz.
First Lady Dr. Jill Biden attended the ceremony, and earlier the longtime educator laid flowers at the Christian private school where they were killed, as friends and family are remembering those who were lost.
But I'll tell you, I know as sure as I'm sitting here that Catherine went down protecting those kids.
Her friend, Catherine Kuntz, was head of Covenant Elementary School. She was remembered alongside Mike Hill, the school's beloved custodian, Big Mike to all the kids, and 3 9-year-old students, Evelyn Dickhouse. Her family shattered, her pastor honoring her on Wednesday.
She's amazing, shining light.
Hallie Scruggs, her father the lead pastor of the church that runs the school, and their classmate, William Kinney. Substitute teacher, Cynthia Peak, who was filling in at Covenant on Monday. She and Catherine Kuntz were both good friends of the wife of Tennessee's governor, Bill Lee.
Cindy and Maria and Catherine Kuntz were all teachers at the same school and have been family friends for decades.
Today, a large crowd of protesters gathered at the Tennessee state capitol calling for stricter gun laws. Protesters could be heard chanting, "Do your job," and "Gun control now." The Covenant School Massacre is the 19th shooting at a school or university in just the past 3 months.
Back on campus, university LGBTQ organization called Spectrum hosted UM's 10th annual Dragout, a competition raising funds for Trans Lifeline, which is an organization serving transgender people. U-Drag features several student acts as well as special performances from well-known drag queens. The student who won the competition hopes that everyone who attended went away with something.
Open-minded, and obviously that they'll have a good time because drag is fun to watch. But you know, with all the recent legislation, I hope that it will everyone will leave a little bit more open-minded than they came in.
Spectrum is hosting its next event called Queer Cabaret in the Red Road Studio Theater on Friday, April 7th at 3:30 p.m. in collaboration with the Theater Action Group.
Another group on campus called Lifting Our Voices is bringing together students from across the country to give back to the community. Charlie Hill has the story.
Saturdays are for service. At least that's what students who gathered in the Mahoney Pearson classrooms were saying on Saturday morning.
So this is our monthly sandwich run event. We're a part of an organization called Lifting Our Voices, which is a national organization started in Georgia based on helping people in need.
For the past month, Lifting Our Voices has collected donations of money and food. Once enough donations were gathered, they welcomed everyone to participate in making hundreds of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And it was not just University of Miami students in the room. As part of the national organization, each chapter helps each other out. Bryson Moore traveled from Georgia State University to support.
We have 4 different campuses that we're a part of, so the AUC, Spelman, Clark, and Morehouse, Georgia Tech, Georgia State, and we chartered one here at University of Miami. And so, you know, with us all being in Atlanta, we're able to show support for each other. So we wanted to come down to Miami to show support to the University of Miami chapter.
On top of making and packaging sandwich bags, students were also asked to do one more thing.
So right now we're writing affirmation cards to put in the sandwich bags to give out. I wrote a couple, I already gave them away, but this one says, "I appreciate you." We wrote some that says, "Love yourself," "Fall back in love with yourself," "Do something you love today." Just different things that incorporate love and good feelings.
Lifting Our Voices was able to make nearly 600 packages. The completed bags were then taken to a charitable organization in Miami called Lotus House to be distributed to people in the area. And since they've started at UM just last semester, they've been able to reach over 1,000 people in need. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Charlie Hill.
The city of Coral Gables has called itself the City Beautiful since 1933, but keeping that title requires some upkeep, and the city government is making sure they live up to the name. Monday was the first Coral Gables cleanup of 2023, hosted by the Coral Gables Chamber of Commerce. They've been putting on these events for almost 3 years, and over 30 volunteers came out to the event to spend 1 hour of their Monday picking around trash in Miracle Mile.
But we're really, really proud of everything that we've been able to accomplish, and that's partly due because of the community and their interest and the way that they come out and participate at these events.
And together, the group picked up 186 pounds of trash in 1 hour, and they were rewarded for it. Coral Gables Mayor Vince Lago gives the group with the heaviest bag a cash prize of $200 of his own money.
We will take a short break, but still ahead on NewsVision, Cuban migrants took an unconventional mode of transportation to flee their country. This story and more when we return.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving. I definitely can't drive.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
Nine soldiers have been killed after 2 Black Hawk Army helicopters crashed on a training mission in Kentucky. According to a U.S. Army official, there were no survivors. It happened on a routine training mission in Trigg County. That's just north of the Kentucky-Tennessee border and about an hour outside the city of Paducah. The helicopters were with the 101st Airborne Division. Authorities say the choppers crashed in a rural area and no residential areas were affected. Several agencies were assisting with the wreckage early this morning.
For decades, Cubans have fled the communist island in search of better life in America. But this past weekend, 2 Cubans took to the sky to attempt the dangerous 90-mile journey. On Saturday morning, 2 migrants landed a motorized hang glider at Key West International Airport. Residents captured the video of the motorized glider flying over Key West before it landed at the airport. The migrants did not suffer any injuries, and arrests were made by Monroe County Police before they were turned over to U.S. Border Patrol agents. They will be sent back to Cuba.
Pope Francis is in a hospital in Rome where he would stay for several days to receive medical treatment. According to Vatican officials, Pope Francis was hospitalized after complaining of respiratory difficulties. Doctors diagnosed the Pope with a respiratory infection, which is not COVID-19, and he will stay in the hospital for treatment. Earlier yesterday, the 86-year-old pontiff took part in the weekly general audience in St. Peter's Square and looked in good health.
With drug overdose near record levels, federal officials have approved for the first time an over-the-counter version of an opioid antidote that saves lives. The OTC nasal spray containing naloxone, the generic for Narcan, will come in a package of 2 doses. That's in case the person overdosing does not respond to the first dose. However, most overdoses can be reversed with a single dose, according to drug maker Emergent Biosolutions. The naloxone in nasal spray can be given to anyone, even children and babies.
Come across a person who is unconscious or it appears that they might not be breathing and you have reason to suspect that it's related to an overdose, you can save a life with Narcan.
The drug maker says it will be sold in places like drugstores, convenience stores, grocery stores, gas stations, and online. It's expected to be available by late summer.
Women's History Month is almost over, but the North Miami Community Redevelopment Agency is making sure that the contributions of women don't go unnoticed. I visited one particular event that demonstrated powerful women through beautiful art. March is Women's History Month in the United States, and one organization in Miami is doing all it can to commemorate women in a very visual way. African Art is a nonprofit organization dedicated to creating cultural connections within the African diaspora. It celebrated Women's History Month with the Women Walk on Water art exhibition at the Galvin Community Center in North Miami. The exhibition features a variety of artists from different backgrounds, styles, and nationalities, all of them women.
With more women at the helm, it will give this planet a saving grace, a saving chance. So we think by giving them a platform and an opportunity to show the best of who they are and what they do, without men attached to it and without men trying to take credit for it, it will allow the world to see them in their rightful light authentically.
Each piece was carefully curated for its symbolic representation of powerful women through various mediums. Artists told the story of women through paintings, drawings, and sculptures.
In this day and age, that takes a lot of courage. And these women have proven that. So when I reach out to these, I try to get women that showed in their work what it means to walk on water.
The event is hosted at the Scott Galvin Community Center in North Miami until tomorrow, when Women's History Month ends. African aims to highlight the struggles, sacrifices, and triumphs of women all over the world, and organizers say similar events are on the horizon.
Melanie, that is an unbelievable story. It's great to see representation this month, but as we close out our Women's History Month, we begin the start of the rainy season.
I got completely drenched on the way here, Cal, and it doesn't look like the rain will stop anytime soon.
For more, our weathercaster Quinn Davidson now joins us live. Quinn, is there any chance of this rain slowing down?
Good news, Cal, the rain has stopped. Those storms and showers are tapering off and fizzling away from us here in Miami-Dade County. However, looking at that past radar recap, we had quite the downpour this afternoon. Essentially, this downpour stalled over us here in Coral Gables. The Miami International Airport recorded 3.28 inches of rain. This actually breaks the record of 2.68 inches back in 1906, so definitely a soaker for us here in Miami. Looking at a low pressure system situated across the Midwest region with a cold front stringing down attached to it. Tomorrow, this is creating fuel for a severe weather outbreak across the southern plains and the Midwest. You can see that squall line forming in areas such as Arkansas and Tennessee, pushing into Iowa. This caused the Storm Prediction Center to release a moderate risk of severe weather for those areas you can see highlighted in the red. The enhanced risk is those in brown. Definitely a very large swath of the country is under. In fact, 65 million people are at risk of severe weather for tomorrow, so definitely a very serious situation. There is a tornado risk as well for areas such as Memphis, for example. There is a 15% chance anywhere in the red that a tornado will occur within a 25-mile radius in a given point. Definitely a very serious and dire situation. Want to make sure everyone is staying weather aware. And for those taking that drive to Houston to see UConn and the Canes play this weekend in the Final Four, there is scattered thunderstorms midday in areas such as Louisiana, New Orleans, and Baton Rouge. But that drive should look relatively okay in areas such as Florida. But definitely take your time and be safe. Looking at that Category 5 hurricane hitting Houston, just kidding, it's our basketball team. We have a 5 p.m. temperature of 88 degrees, very warm, and by tip-off we're looking at 78 degrees with clouds building and that humidity increasing overnight. For us here in Miami, our 7-day forecast, absolutely gorgeous and stunning weather to get outside. Temperatures in the mid to low 80s and lows in the low to mid 70s. Definitely an average type of seasonal temperatures for this time of year. Back to you.
Still ahead tonight, March Madness has gone to new heights for Miami men's and women's basketball this month. Plus, a look at what's next for baseball with conference rival Florida State in town. We'll share everything going on from basketball to baseball after the break.
Owen, let's talk for a second.
Hi, Ellen. Come on in.
When you came into my life, it was a whirlwind.
I just can't do it.
It'll come to you.
It won't.
We had a lot to learn about each other. A lot. Hey, that's good. Things were changing so quickly.
Uh-oh.
We didn't know what the future would hold. Any of us. I just wish you felt more at home now. But we knew you would always be a part of it. Adopting you was the best decision in our life. And I am so proud to call you my son.
Hello and welcome to sports. I'm Wyatt Kopelman. As you saw earlier tonight, Miami men's basketball has played its most consistent basketball in the NCAA tournament. The Hurricanes returned to the Elite Eight for the second straight year and defeated the Texas Longhorns Sunday night. Let's go out to Kansas City to see how they pulled off the win. Deep in the second half here, Miami a 10-2 run, make it a 12-2 run here as Norchad Omier goes top shelf. He's been a big transfer for Miami down low this season. Miami not done yet. The fans are right there with them out in the Midwest. But Texas was not done yet either. This time a drive down the lane and Texas ties the ball game up. This one would be a thriller down the stretch. And now over to women's basketball, a team that also made history in the college basketball this year in the tournament. Miami went to its first ever Elite Eight after beating 4-seed Villanova and top-seeded Indiana on the road, but lost to Louisiana State on Sunday. This time we'll go over to Bon Secours Wellness Arena in Greenville, South Carolina to see the highlights. Miami down by 11 here. Jasmine Roberts missing a shot from mid-range. She had 22 points and 7 rebounds, but LSU looking a little bit mightier, a little bit stronger in transition. LSU getting a lot of production, not only on LaDasia Williams, but Angel Reese as well, an All-American. This time, Lachey Dwyer trying to get something going down the lane, adding a little bit of spice after that play. And Miami was only within 10 as both teams really struggled to shoot from three-point territory. Only one combined. There you see Reese again capitalizing on the inbound. LSU was able to pull away and reach its first Final Four in 15 years. A huge win for the Tigers. Miami just a little bit shorthanded in this one after a dominant run to the Elite Eight. March Madness has brought new levels of excitement to Miami, with men's and women's basketball making history. But baseball season is in full swing, and the Hurricanes bats have swung the team into a rivalry series against Florida State this weekend. Miami won its midweek matchup against crosstown rival Florida International with a walk-off home run from right fielder Zach Levinson. Hurricanes closer Andrew Walters earned his second win of the season as Miami trailed 3 times before winning. Florida State swept Miami in its last trip to Coral Gables in 2021.
I just told them, you better be ready to play. They're going to be ready to play. It's Florida State, Miami. I don't care what the records are. You better be ready to play. They're good enough, certainly, to beat anybody on any given day. If they play well, we got to make sure we're ready to play well. And that's my biggest concern. It's just my biggest talking point was just making sure we're focused. It's Florida State, yes, and we better be ready to play. But I want to play good baseball, complete baseball.
With Miami losing its series in Tallahassee in 2022, it will try to win its first series against the Seminoles since 2019. Starting pitcher Carson Ligon has 2 wins for Miami, as it is 14-3 at Mark Light Field this year. Miami and Florida State have played since 1951, as Miami leads the all-time series 69 games to 64. The Hurricanes are 16-9 this season after losing in the Coral Gables Regional of the NCAA tournament last June. And while some student athletes are preparing for the Final Four this week, others took it an opportunity to prepare for life after college. The Lakeside Expo Center hosted their annual Student Athlete Career Fair on Monday, sponsored by the Topple Career Center. The event hosted companies ranging from insurance, real estate, and law enforcement. Companies even sent former student athletes, including former UM quarterback Stephen Morris, to connect past Hurricanes to future Hurricanes in the workforce.
You just open the door to your future, and I think it's very important for student athletes to get this exposure, because I feel like we don't get the same opportunity to work and sometimes get internships, but a lot of these employers understand and they're willing to embrace that role, so it's phenomenal. I think it's very important.
The 25 companies at the event included PNC, Northwestern Mutual, and the Miami Dolphins. The career fair lasted 2 hours and welcomed hundreds of student athletes.
Thank you, Wyatt. And coming up on NewsVision, one Cuban immigrant has a passion for fashion. Now she's using her brand to inspire others. We'll be right back.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think. You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive, CWX. You're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
After being held in captivity at the Miami Seaquarium for nearly 52 years, an orca named Lolita will be returned to her home waters off the coast of Washington state. The mission will cost over $15 million and take 6 to 9 months to plan. Lolita will be initially put into a contained area where trainers and veterinarians will reteach her how to catch fish.
Colorful flags representing nations all over the world decorated the lakeside patio this week as the University of Miami celebrates its 55th annual International Week. Kayla Butter is live right now at the lakeside patio where tonight's festivities are underway. Kayla, please tell us more.
Tonight, the Council of International Students and Organizations is celebrating Middle Eastern and European Night right here on Lakeside Patio. The event, which just wrapped up their 10th activities, has been celebrating heritage and being able to share that with their peers. And later on tonight, cultural meals and performances will be able to be enjoyed by anyone who decides to stop on by. International Week kicked off on Monday and has been celebrating all week with different events. If you still have not been able to attend, tonight's event isn't over until 10 p.m. and International Week does not end until Saturday, with tomorrow having an Asia night and on Saturday with a gala. Reporting live from Lakeside Patio, I'm Kayla Butter, UMTV.
Thanks, Kayla. One local designer has had a passion for fashion as long as she can remember. Taryn Jacobs introduces us to Alina, a Cuban immigrant who wants to inspire others with her brand.
Ever since she was a little girl whose family had just immigrated from Cuba to the U.S., Alina Villasante had an eye for fashion.
My mom could only buy me like 7 pieces of clothes for school, and everything kind of mixed and matched and created 14 outfits.
And Alina did not keep that fashion creativity only to herself. She began hosting fashion parties for her friends and designing shirts with positive quotes.
When they were wearing it out, people were asking, where can I get that? And that's how Peace Love World was born.
Alina is the creator of Peace Love World, which is a lifestyle brand that sells apparel and home goods, but it has a much deeper meaning.
It's really about not only great silhouettes and great fabrics, but it's about a feel-good message on everything, whether it be on the outside or hidden somewhere.
She always seems to find, everything, the positive side on everything. No matter how bad things are, she always tells me, we're gonna get through this, there's something better, and it always works out.
The brand caters to everyone, including some famous celebrities.
Oprah called to go on her tour, the Life You Want tour, and then we merchandised her entire tour.
Alina also strives to give back and impact struggling communities, like Haiti, which she visited in 2008.
Haiti made me realize how privileged we are. Haiti taught me how some people have so much to offer, but they don't have the opportunity around them to make it happen. I felt like Haiti has brought me so much more than I have brought them.
Peace Love World supports a children's shelter in Haiti by donating clothing and funds, and Alina knows it is worth it.
I mean, look, if I look back and everything that I've gone through with Peace Love World and, the money that it's cost and everything, right? Would I go back and not do it? I don't think so.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Taryn Jacobs.
And finally, back to our top story. The Miami Hurricanes men's basketball team departed for Houston yesterday from the Watsco Center. And a few hundred Hurricanes fans crashed the party to wish the team good luck. Now, I know the saying is we've got some Canes over here, but this is truly a sight to see as students and fans pack the Watsco Center. There's Nigel Pack, Midwest Region MVP, with Chick-fil-A. Now I wish I was on the team for that reason alone. There's Isaiah Wong, the ACC Player of the Year. He's going to need to be big on Saturday. And shout out to Alex Schwartz, former UMTV member making the trip with the team, and North Chad O'Meara. What a spectacular turnout by Canes Nation. And how exciting has it been to be on campus for this March Madness run? It has been phenomenal, and the campus is buzzing.
The energy has been so high here on campus, especially because it's the men's first time in the Final Four competition. It's going to be a great game, and I'm definitely excited to see them put up a great performance in Houston.
Well, Cal, I'd certainly say it feels like 2013 with Laredega's lawn before taking on #1 Duke.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know about you guys, but I'm actually driving to Houston. I'm doing that 17-hour drive.
Really?
So I hope you all wish me luck on that.
I think I have to settle for a sailboat. I'm sorry, I couldn't do 17 hours on the road. Too many pit stops,
You did say that the the travel would be good, so good for you on there. That will do it for this week's edition of NewsVision. Thank you so much for joining us.
We'll be back again for another show next week, same time, same place. Until then, have a great night, stay safe, and go Canes.